To whom agree. Greetings and salutations. The universe is just doomed. 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 Doomed.
Hello.
Hi, and welcome back.
It's us, Nicole.
And Tessa.
And Kim is here as Jean, our faithful assistant.
Oh, good idea.
Who makes all of our appointments, and we're not going to fuck or kill.
Yes, she gets away.
She gets away scot-free.
I'm not Evelyn.
Well,
No, you're not. She does look more like Evelyn,
yes.
but she's not going to be Evelyn in this
especially
episode.
when she makes that face.
Yes, only when she makes the devil face. So we are coming to you tonight from my new house.
Brand new garage.
Last week we were at Tessa's house. This week we're in my new garage.
It's quiet.
In the middle of nowhere.
We're in the desert.
Nice and quiet.
I know.
Perfect place to murder a bunch of ladies.
Dropped the husbands off at the casino.
Yep, sure did. Casino.
At the casino. I swear we didn't bury him in the desert. They
We
live.
didn't. Not yet.
We didn't have anything to do with it. Oh, we got to get some of those negligee robes just in case.
Just in case. And before we get into American Psycho.
Yes, the second in our Nightmare November
Yes.
selection.
We need to thank a new patron.
Yes.
Who now at this point joined weeks and weeks
I
ago,
know.
but because we're a little far ahead in recording.
You must forgive us.
Thank you, Desiree Guerrero. You are the most smartest.
Most smartest, even.
And we will get you a package as soon as I can find all of the stickers in a box in my garage.
She just moved.
I just moved,
So
but I will.
There's things.
I'm right on top of that, Rose.
Yeah, we're mobile now. Like things are happening.
So yes, American Psycho, the king of all gifs and meme
I
fucking
know.
images. I swear to God, you
I
see
know.
these more images that I forgot about till I was watching it, where I was
I
like,
know.
oh my
You're like,
God, I
oh,
see
yeah.
that all the time. That the fucking in the mirror,
Oh, yeah,
hand
the-
behind the head pose. That,
Yeah.
with that when he
Ooh.
makes that face.
Yeah.
Oh, so many. And they're
what-
doing a remake?
Apparently, that's what I saw. The Quagmire guy, the one that did. It's not that. I'm not even going to attempt it, but it's the guy that did the Suspiria remake.
Oh,
so
is
I'm
doing
kind
this
of
one.
interested. Film the rat scene.
Okay.
Just do it.
Tessa
it.
brought her book tonight.
I brought my book. I finally found it.
She's got it bookmarked to the
In fact,
parts it did not include.
just a little selection. But in fact, I read this book long before this movie came out when I was way too young. I was like 12 years old. I borrowed it from Liana.
Yes, that's what you
Liana read
said. You guys both were reading
And she was like,
American
"You gotta
Psycho when
read
you were like
this."
10 or 11.
12.
12.
I'm going to say 12.
Okay.
But yeah, she's like, you got to read this book. It's like fucking insane. And I did, and it is. And then when they were going to make a movie, I was like, how are they going
to film this?
That's going to be straight up porn. Like, there's no way. Who did they get to do that? I don't know.
Christian Bale.
That was like a good 8 years
Later
after
the time
after
that
I had
you
read it.
read it. Yeah.
'Cause it was in 1991 it came out. I didn't read it until 94.
Okay, so this was
Maybe so it was a
2000.
couple
So,
years, and it came out in 2000. So it was a long time after that.
and I don't remember if I ever read this one. I read Less Than Zero. I don't think I ever read this one.
It's
I think we own it. Chris says we own it, but I'm gonna have to pull it out. And
yeah.
give it
Well, like I said, I finally found it, and actually a very large chunk of the dialogue in this movie comes straight out of
the novel.
Out of the novel. It's all like word for. I opened it up today, and it was the whole conversation about. I don't remember what it was, but it was with Elizabeth.
Yes,
And she was like, "Why would you think I'd be into that? I'm not a lesbian." It's like it's all
exactly
word for
verbatim.
word for word.
So, is this a thriller or what did you see? A wry comedy?
I was like, I don't know about that.
Dark comedy, maybe in some ways.
Right.
Like it's got its moments, but
it's the book is not.
it's not a comedy whatsoever.
It's not a comedy. Like not even. It's more like when you can see it in his mannerisms and the reactions that other people have that are funny.
Right.
Like that's kind of where the comedy comes from.
Yes.
And that what was going on in my mind reading that at 12 years old
was not funny at all.
comedy.
No. So we've got Christian Bale as Patrick Bateman.
And this was like his breakout role. People told him, don't do it. He
Really?
really wanted to do.
Why would they say don't do it?
Well, because
They
they,
didn't
thought
think it was gonna be
They didn't think it was going to
big.
be good for his career.
To be a psycho.
Yeah.
Because he's really good at it.
I know. Well, that was the thing.
Too
and
good.
it ended up being his kind of launch pad, like getting Batman and getting like.
Because before that, he was in Newsies.
Yeah.
Right? It went
and
from
in fact, when he
Newsies
says
to-
I can only get these sheets in Santa Fe, it's a Newsies reference.
Is it
'cause
really?
He sings the song Santa Fe.
That's funny.
But yeah, like this ended up being kind of a launching off point for Christian Bale into leading roles
Okay.
after this. And he really lobbied hard for it. They wanted a couple of other people. There was Billy Crudup. He turned it down. Ben Chaplin, Robert Sean Leonard, Jonathan Sheck, Johnny Lee Miller,
Oh.
Jared Leto, who they ended up
with
casting
doing Paul
differently.
Allen, yeah.
Johnny Depp was interested, and then the producers wanted Ed Norton, but Mary Herron said no.
Oh,
She was
interesting.
like, no, I don't want that.
He was not attractive enough.
I guess not.
yeah,
I
because I
guess
think he
not.
could have done it, like acting wise, for sure.
for sure, because he's a good actor.
But he's not handsome
No,
enough.
Because to be honest, like Christian Bale's skin, flawless.
Oh yes, this man is in peak
Flawless.
physical
He
condition in
followed
this.
routine throughout filming.
Oh, did he?
I think you know he did because he does that shit.
Oh, he's a
This was
method
like-
actor.
Yeah, this is like the beginning of like his method actor shit. And he followed the routine that he spells out in the beginning. He did that every single day of filming.
Okay, all right.
And by the time he was done, he was so sick, and I quote, of eating chicken breasts to keep fit and
Yeah.
to keep up with this shit that he was like so over.
I'm
it.
never eating chicken again.
Yeah.
Justin Theroux as Timothy Bryce.
Yeah. Josh Lucas as Craig McDermott.
Bill Sage as David VanPatten.
Chloe Sevigny. Chloe.
As Jean. And she doesn't
Jean.
even get a last name. She's the only one that's
Yeah,
just
she's
Jean.
just Jean.
Reese Witherspoon as Evelyn Williams.
Samantha Mathis is Courtney Rawlinson.
Matt Ross as Lewis Carruthers.
Jared Leto, that little freak, as Paul Allen.
Willem Dafoe as Donald Kimball.
Cara Seymour as Christie.
Reg E. Cathy again as the homeless
Oh,
man.
yeah, that's right. Guinevere Turner as Elizabeth, and she's also one of the screenwriters.
Oh, okay.
And she's also a lesbian that went to Sarah Lawrence.
And that must have been hilarious for her to film then. She's like, actually, I really do want to make out with this girl with the short bangs because I went to Sarah Lawrence and I'm a lesbian.
And I guess they also considered for Evelyn, Winona,
Okay.
Shannon Doherty, and Keanu was also offered Patrick Bateman.
Really?
And at some
Can't see
point,
that.
Lionsgate, the production company or whatever, they wanted Leonardo DiCaprio,
Okay.
right? And Mary Herron was like,
No.
I'll bail if you do it. And they're like, we're going to do it anyway. So they got Oliver Stone.
Oh, geez.
And he wanted James Woods as Kimball, Cameron
Okay.
Diaz as Evelyn, Elizabeth Berkley as Courtney, Chloe was Jean. She got to keep her job.
Jean. Okay.
And Jared Leto was also the same as Paul Allen and Oliver
Interesting.
Stone's whatever. And there was also a television adaptation at one point that was considered with Kevin Dillon.
I just watched The Blob the other night. And I thought to myself, and I'm so sorry, Kevin Dillon. You're
know.
great.
I know.
But I thought to myself, if my brother looked like Matt Dillon and I look like Kevin
I'd be
Dillon,
so
I'd
mad.
be fucking pissed.
Well, they wanted him to be Patrick Bateman in the series.
I guess I could see it.
He's got good skin.
Yeah, and he could play a psycho, I think. He's got
Yeah, I mean, why
a little
not?
bit crazy eye.
Why not?
Oh,
I
but
guess
The
that-
Blob is good, though. I had not watched that in a long time.
There was also one point back in the early 90s, right after the novel was released, where Bret Easton Ellis wrote a script for David Cronenberg,
Oh.
and they wanted Brad Pitt as Bateman.
No, I feel
No,
like Christian
no,
Bale's the
Christian
way to
Bale's
go.
perfect.
Totally.
Perfect.
I can't
Perfect.
imagine a better Patrick
No,
Bateman.
it was perfect. It was perfect. When I saw it, I was like, yes,
Yeah.
that's
that makes
who
sense.
I read about.
Makes sense.
That's who I read about.
Psychopath.
Charming psychopath.
And he based it off of Tom Cruise. He based it off of Tom Cruise, part of his
Oh,
performance,
man.
because he's all like,
Dead in the eyes.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's like all really animated and it, like a part of things and whatever.
But there's nothing happening behind
there.
the eyes.
Nothing
Yeah.
there.
Oh my goodness. So we start with some gorgeously plated meals.
Oh my God. The descriptions. I'm such a description whore. This whole thing where they talk about the things and the things and the things and the meals and the whatever, and she's wearing this and he's wearing that.
You love it.
I love it. I'm an adjective whore.
And so Patrick and his buddies are out at lunch at this subpar restaurant because it's not Dorsia.
No.
Why are
it's
we not at Dorsia?
Because Patrick can't get a reservation at Dorsia. We talk about Dorsia.
So much. That word is said more than any word in this fucking movie.
Yeah.
It's
all
in every scene just about.
Dorsia, and we never see it.
No, you never get to see the inside of it.
We never see it. We see Espas. We see Texarkana.
Yeah.
We see Harry's. Mm-hmm. We do not see Dorsia. Barcadia. We do not see Dorsia.
No. So one of them's getting anti-Semitic with his remarks, and Patrick's like, "Hey, cool it, man."
This was the conversation when I opened the book.
That was right away,
word for word. But also in there, they're all far more homophobic, xenophobic, racist.
Of course.
All of them.
It was
way
the
more
80s
than
on
this.
Wall
Yeah.
Street.
Yeah.
And they all look the same, which is what the joke is throughout
Exactly.
this, is that
Everybody
nobody
looks
knows
the same.
who anybody
Nobody knows
is
who
except
they're
for these
talking to.
3 or 4 dudes that always
Right,
hang
right.
out with each other. They know
Exactly.
who each other are because they all have their
McDermott,
cards.
Bryce,
Yeah.
Lucas, and
Bateman. Yeah.
And he's like, they don't have a good bathroom to do coke in. And like Timothy Bryce, like, this is a chick restaurant.
A chick restaurant. And then only $5.70 for lunch?
Yeah.
Reasonable.
Yeah.
In 1987, $570.
On Wall Street.
Insane. This is 2024, and if somebody brought me a bill for 4 people for $5.70,
I'll look at you like,
did we just eat people?
did we just have a Caesar salad at that one restaurant we went to that one time?
But with people on it? A
Instead of
garnish of
croutons,
people?
You get a person, grilled dick,
Gold plated.
Right? Gold-plated grilled
baby
dick.
on top of this fucking, it better be.
So they head to the club, and the club is such a weird antithesis
they
to their
there?
daytime life. Like,
I
what
know,
are they
they
even
just-
enjoying at this club?
Because they could sit at a booth
It's just the
and
hip
flash
place to
money
be.
just to be able to get in, get a seat, have a bottle, sit there with blondes.
Yeah, just that
It's just
the
that's
models
it.
hang out there,
It's
I guess.
just to be able to go there, just to be seen, just because they have money.
And we get our first little glimpse into Patrick's mask slipping when he tells this bartender he wants to stab her to death and play around in her blood.
because she tells her she tells him the drink tickets are no good. It's a cash bar.
And where do you
he's like,
get drink tickets?
At
Only
the
like the
door?
band gets drink tickets.
I
Like,
don't
where,
know.
or you've
I
been
guess-
saving up your drink tickets from the.
Why
I don't
would
know.
he even try it? It seems
Right?
like that's out
Money
of
people don't
character
use drink
for
tickets.
Patrick Bateman to give a drink ticket.
Yeah. You think he'd want to pay even more than it was worth.
Right.
You go up there and get a bottle of Cristal at the fucking bar.
Why not? You get bottle service. Why are you getting
Yeah.
up?
What are you doing?
Come on, Patrick.
But does he really say it? Because you only see him in the mirror,
Right.
And she doesn't hear
She
him,
doesn't
and nobody
hear it, but
hears
it's
him.
loud. I don't know. I don't know if any of this is talking about, but he says it.
So now we go back to Patrick's minimalist bachelor pad.
Right. He's there and he's talking about his morning routine.
Yes, and I'm sorry, so much white in this apartment for a serial killer.
I know.
Are you really a serial killer and you're going
No.
to decorate your apartment in white? Come
No.
on now.
No. None of this happens.
So yeah, we get the whole monologue of him narrating over us watching him do his insane morning routine.
The gels he uses, the face scrubs he uses, the masks
The
he
ice
uses,
pack on his eyes.
Right, the crunches that he does.
I can do 1,000 now.
And he's in his little tidy white little
Well, first we get Nalgas in the fucking shower.
I guess all the gals gathered on set to
Those
watch
are
him
some
do
nice
this.
cakes, baby.
I do beg your pardon.
Those are lovely.
He was following a routine.
I'm telling you, peak physical
Tanned,
condition here.
toned. Oh my God, beautiful skin.
I mean, his face creeps me the fuck out.
Oh
in this
my
movie.
God, and his
every
lisp
look he
kinda
gives
does.
you, but like
Oh,
from
'cause
the
there's
neck
nothing
down.
fucking- oh,
Yes,
bitch.
mama.
I'm gonna rub my
Hello.
face on it.
That herb mint facial mask is doing
that
the
little
trick.
scrub. Get them little.
And that where he's peeling his
And they did that in one take. That was like she agonized over it because it was going to come off in pieces, and it
But
came
he
off
managed
in
to
one.
get it in one,
He knew what he was doing. I bet you he practiced at home.
probably. And he's telling the mirror, or not telling the mirror, we're just hearing him
Right, it's
narrating
a voiceover.
that there's not even a real him.
Right,
He's
like
just
there's
an
an
entity.
abstraction of what I am, and even though you may shake my hand and feel flesh pressing yours, I simply am not there.
I can't even imagine. I know there's people out there that's their existence, but I cannot imagine.
The whole journey that you go on with this is so.
If you weren't already creeped out by what he said to
I
the
know.
bartender, you immediately
You're
sets
like,
the scene for
oh.
fuck, this dude is not right.
Like this,
He's
well,
not
it
right.
already stands to reason. Also, like these Wall Street people,
Right.
Right? They're all like this, especially in the '80s. They were all evil. They made a bunch of movies about it.
And the most confusing part for me about Patrick, we'll learn almost immediately while he's on his Walkman. Walking
I'm
on
walking on
sunshine.
sunshine.
Like this is what Patrick Bateman listens
There's
to
a
walking
whole
through the
fucking
office.
chapter entitled Whitney Houston in the book.
Oh yeah, because we'll
Nippy
get
would
there.
not allow her
We'll get
music
there.
to be used
Oh.
in this film. Nippy would not allow.
She said no.
She said no, thank you. That's why it's a weird.
No, other things, but not that.
But
No.
and that's why that GIF meme is so perfect of him walking, because it's always that you're listening to some weird ass song that
Right,
someone
right,
wouldn't
right.
expect, and
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
exactly why. Because
Exactly.
what? He's listening to "Walking on Sunshine,"
She just wants to fit in.
and Jean, his assistant, tells him about all his appointments
Right.
for the day, and he's like having her make reservations, and then she tells him he looks nice, and he's like,
Don't wear that outfit again.
"Wear a dress or skirt."
And I like heels. I like high heels.
Fucking
Come on, Jean.
pig.
You're prettier than that.
Ugh.
Barf.
And then simply irresistible. We get
I'm trying to listen to the new Robert Palmer tape, and Evelyn, my so-called fiance, is bap, 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 bap.
She's trying to talk about the wedding, and he's
She's
like,
we
"Ugh,
should do it. We're gonna get Annie Leibovitz to photograph our wedding.
I can't get the time off work.
Your father
To get
practically
married?
owns the company,
And,
and
like-
I don't know why you just don't quit.
And you get married on a weekend. Like,
Well,
what do you
that's-
mean?
Because he doesn't want to fucking marry her.
No, he doesn't.
He just wants to fit in, and that's what he tells
And this is
her, like,
Evelyn's cousin that they go meet at this restaurant, the
Stash
Goth.
and Vanden. They're also in Rules of Attraction, and
Oh, are they?
yeah. And I feel like the other one, the Imperial Ballrooms. That's what it's called.
Oh, I haven't heard of that one.
Imperial Ballrooms.
So yeah, they go and meet her goth cousins or cousin, and is it the boy or the girl that's her cousin? Does it even ever say?
I think
Just
she
that's
says
my
this
cousin.
is my cousin Vanden and her friend Stash.
Okay, so the girl's her cousin, and
Dash's name is Park Bench.
his
Park
real name is
Bench?
Park Bench.
Why did they not just go with that? I feel like that's wherever they're artsy, right?
He's our friend. This is my cousin Vanden and her friend Park Bench.
Imperial bedrooms. God damn it. Whatever. I don't want to think about the names of the other fucking books anymore.
So we become aware that apparently Evelyn is probably having an affair with Timothy.
Right, but he's almost indifferent to the fact that she's aware that he's having an affair with Courtney Rawlinson, who's almost perfect looking. But she's engaged to the biggest doofus on Wall Street, Louis Carruthers.
Who's clearly gay.
Wow.
We find out.
we
But
do.
like, yeah. So and Patrick starts bringing up like ending apartheid and world hunger. Like,
Oh,
I don't know
Patrick.
what is it. I guess this is
How
him trying to fit
thought-provoking.
in. But
He's
these
just-
guys
it's-
don't talk about this stuff.
No. What about the murders in Sri Lanka, honey? 'Cause
Right?
They talk about the commercialization.
Sri Lanka's not the
and
only
yeah.
problem, Timothy.
We need to end apartheid for one.
And he talks about all this promoting civil rights, equal rights for women,
Right.
but a return to traditional moral values. Well, make up your mind. Do you
I
want rights
know.
for women or a
I
return to
know.
traditional moral
Also
values?
That. But like he doesn't believe anything
He
says.
sounds like
He's
an
just-
AI.
I know.
He sounds like if you told an AI, give me the whole
That
spiel
is
of someone who
why
wants to save the planet.
He is so perfect for like he nailed this fucking
Oh,
role.
for sure.
He like understood the assignment of who Patrick Bateman is.
Totally. And at the ATM, he withdraws more cash than I have ever held in my hand in my
Oh, I
entire
know.
life. Can you even get that much cash out of an ATM
And
at
for
one time?
why? To go do more blow in the bathroom?
To
at
creep
the
some
other-
lady out walking down the street for no
Oh,
reason?
I know. Oh yeah. And I was like, is she?
Because she was nobody. Nothing happened.
There's
She
well,
just
I don't know because there's all kinds of other things that they did
Oh, in the
not
book.
film because they like whatever. I'm like, is she the nail gun lady?
Oh.
That nail gun headboard lady? because she's not the rat lady. And then there's like
I don't know who
Tori
these ladies are.
and Teresa or some shit, and that's a whole nother fucking thing. But Christie comes up a lot, and
Okay.
Elizabeth is in there,
Okay.
and all the rest of them. But yeah, there's like other women, and I feel like they show
Because they show all those bodies in that apartment at a
Right,
certain
right,
point, and
right.
you don't see him kill all those people.
But like he looks at her in a way, but the way that she looks at him, I think, is more important. Is that she's not afraid of him.
no.
She's like attracted to him, and
Right.
that's like
It's
Oh,
sending you a
that's how
message
he-
that like it would be creepy, but when you look over at him and he's all handsome and well dressed in a fucking Valentino suit or whatever he's
And that's
wearing, you're like,
probably how
oh
he's
hi,
able to
yeah,
get her to go. It's like Ted
Right.
Bundy. That's how he was
Right.
able to get her to go with him.
Which, come on, really? I've seen Ted Bundy.
and in
I
a
know, I
Volkswagen
don't
Bug.
believe her. I
It's
never
not the
ever.
same thing.
Smelling horrible.
I know. Like I never really believed that any of them were all that good looking. To be honest with you, like maybe in the time and place, I don't know.
Right, that's the best you could do.
But I don't. I would probably get in the van for other reasons. I can't imagine it would be
Just
for,
curiosity.
Just out of curiosity, I guess. Do
What's
I want to see a
happening
puppy?
here?
Sure.
So he is now at the dry cleaners.
Yes, and he's screaming. They're like, and she's arguing not in English, and he's yelling back at her. And he's got these sheets that are like,
And like, why did you have white sheets?
I know.
And I'm sorry, if that's blood, why would you take them to the dry cleaner? Throw
'Cause
them in the
he's-
trash.
They probably really don't.
These are expensive sheets.
I can only get them.
They're
in
probably
Santa
really
Fe.
wine because he got fucking pilled out and wine
I know,
drunk and
maybe.
spilled a whole bottle of wine in his
Maybe.
bed.
Well, then what happens later to Elizabeth? Maybe that's what happened.
Maybe it
'Cause
was a
there's
time
lot more
jump
of
or
that in the
something.
book,
Yeah.
too,
Okay.
about how he was eating them.
Right. Taking
also.
bites out.
He was taking bites. He was cooking. He was doing all kinds of shit.
And so again, he threatens this lady.
Right. Like, I will
I
cut
will
your
shut
fucking head off.
Yeah, shut your fucking mouth or I'll kill you. So this woman comes in who
Right.
recognizes him and like wants
Victoria
a
or
date.
whatever. I know.
She's like hitting on him hard, and he's like,
I don't know. Like what? Next weekend? I'm busy. I'm gonna go.
I gotta
see
go.
a matinee of Les Miserables or some shit. I gotta go. I'll call you.
And now he goes home. He calls Courtney for a date, but she can't because she's waiting for Lewis.
And she's all pilled out. I think she's on Halcyon tonight or Xanax.
And
or
while
something.
he's on the phone, he's just watching porn really loud.
or is this where he's watching Texas Chainsaw?
No, he's
Massacre?
watching Inside
Oh.
Lydia's ass.
Oh, that's it.
specifically.
That's right. That's right.
And you can just hear like
I know.
whatever in the background, and she's just
That's right. Like,
she's so out of
all
it.
Pilled out in bed, and she's like, I can't. And he's like, I'm thinking Dorcia.
Oh, now she's
Dorcia's
interested.
Nice.
And he calls Dorcia with the porn playing in the back.
Yes, and he's like, I want reservations
For
for
tonight,
8.
and they're just like-
they just laugh. They laugh. And did that happen or did that not?
I don't know.
Did that happen or did that not?
And he takes her out, and she's so out of it.
He
She's
just
like
takes her to
passing out in the
Barcadia.
car, and he takes her to Barcadia, and
just
she's like,
want
"This
a
is Dorcia."
child.
Yeah, just two perfect children. She just like conks out in her fucking
know.
soup.
She's like
her
face down.
peanut butter soup. What?
With arugula and violets.
I don't.
I
None of
wanna
this
eat
food
this
sounded
stuff.
good. I would try it, but I feel like all of
It's
this would cost
probably
you $500, and you would be like, "This is weird." Like
Well,
a
that's
Thai
what I'm
peanut
saying.
sauce is one thing, but they called it peanut butter
It
soup.
was a playful, mysterious dish. You'll love it.
So that goes nowhere. Whatever.
know.
She slumps down in her chair, passes out.
Yeah.
So now Lewis thanks Patrick at work
Oh,
for
for
keeping
taking
Courtney
care of-
company,
Well, he was in Arizona.
and we meet Paul Allen,
Who comes in mistaking Patrick for Marcus Halberstram.
some other dickhead.
Yeah. And he's right over there.
He was right across the same room, but he's wearing the same suit and the same glasses as
we both
Patrick.
have Valentino suits and Oliver Peoples glasses, and we go to the same a penchant, and we both go to the same barber. Although I have a slightly better haircut,
At least he's aware.
I guess.
Only slightly better.
Well,
And so Timothy, he's like, "Oh, asking Paul, can you play squash? Can't do it. I got Dorcia reservations for Friday
right.
night."
Excellent sea urchin ceviche, and he hands him his card.
Oh, the
like,
cards come
oh, and
out.
this part. I don't know why Patrick starts this shit when he gets so stressed. And I guess
Yes.
when they were filming these scenes, every single time Christian Bale can sweat on cue.
I was gonna say he's the best sweater.
He can
He
sweat
just
on
starts
cue.
sweating.
I guess all the other actors were like, it's kind of weird. He sweats every time. Every time.
Because he does this a few times in this movie where when things
Lewis
get
even
tense,
asked him, like,
he's
are you
just like,
sweating? He can
Yeah.
sweat on cue, apparently.
And this is their version of like a fucking pissing
Or
contest or,
something.
like a
They all take out their
dick
cards. I
size
just picked 'em up
competition.
from the printer, and they all look the same.
Hey, one's off-white, one's
bone.
one's
Of course,
eggshell,
his
one's
is
classic
born
white.
Nimbus white.
Nimbus. Some are raised, some
Yeah.
are embossed,
Oh my
some
God.
are engraved, some
He
are.
even has a watermark. The tasteful thing.
He gets so horny about the
over
business
Paul Allen's
card.
card. Well, that's what he was like. They
He
all
looks
do
like he's
the-
gonna explode.
I know. He gets so stressed. They all take out their cards. His is like not the best. He
No.
can't believe
that his is not the best.
like McDermott prefers Carruthers over his,
Ugh.
or like whoever's over his, and like then he was like, "Let's see Paul Allen's card." Who
And
is
you
like
could
the
tell-
object of his.
you
fucking
can tell the look
obsession.
on Timothy's face. He knows
He's like,
it's a mistake
"Oh,
to show him
it's
Paul
a
Allen's
good fucking
card.
card.
Because he's like,
And that's when he's like,
"Ooh."
"Oh my god, it's got a watermark." And this is where he starts
And he
sweating.
comes in his pants.
Yes,
and
he's like,
also
"It's too bad."
explodes
This is where
with
he
rage.
decides to kill him.
Yes. So now Patrick's walking down a dark alley and he stops to talk to a homeless man.
I hate this part.
And it's really terrible.
I hate this part.
Because you kind of think for a second he's going to be nice.
I never, not for a second.
And he's going to give him some money. Well, the
No.
first time you've ever seen it, if you've not
Right,
read it,
he-
you might think, oh, well, maybe he is a nice guy. He did say all that stuff about civil rights and whatever.
Sure. And he was like,
But
"What do you
no.
need some money?" He's like, "But you stink like shit."
And you know what? I guess I don't have anything in common with you.
I
So
know.
I'm just going to stab you to death and kick your dog to death.
He stabs the fucking homeless guy and then stomps the dog out.
And just walks away like nothing happened.
Yep.
Cut to his Manny Petty facial.
Oh, and this is where she's like, "Your skin is so."
And I bet it is.
Fine.
You can't even see a pore in that
not
shit.
a pore, not a
And they get
wrinkle.
close to his face.
I feel like his skin still looks really good. He's got the
he's got that good
rosy
skin.
little cheek. I bet you he can't. He could grow facial hair, can he?
Yeah, he's had a beard a few times.
He looks like he can't.
In this movie, did he have that mole on the side of his?
Oh yeah, I don't know. I didn't
never
notice
noticed.
it.
Is this what he got it removed for? Because he had to be
No, he
perfect?
still has it.
Really there.
Oh.
Getting bigger.
It's getting bigger
Oh,
as he
no,
gets
maybe you
older,
should
but
get
I
that
still
checked out.
you don't notice it because you're just busy watching his weird face. I don't know.
I guess. I always watch his mouth because he's got like a weird lisp.
Uh-huh.
I guess he's spoken an American accent through this whole thing. And at the rap party when he was like whatever, like everyone just assumed he was doing that for a different role.
And they were like,
They
"Oh,
thought he
what?
was
He's
American.
British?"
Yeah.
Oh.
I thought he was American.
He only slipped once, and I don't even think I wrote it down. There
It
was,
was
a
when at
very
the
minor
end-
slip when he's freaking
when
out
he's-
at the end, and he's on the phone with his lawyer or
Yeah.
whatever. That he has
He
a little.
does.
He says something with an accent.
Yeah.
But we get to see a little side shot of his pubes as he lays in the tanning bed.
Yeah.
We get everything but the dick in this.
everything but the dick.
You get so close.
I guess he did when he did the chainsaw scene in between the shots. He would just hang out with a sock over his dick.
And we didn't get to
between
see it
takes.
swinging.
I saw some
Did you?
when I watched it earlier.
Okay, maybe I was typing when the dick was swinging. I don't know. I didn't see it.
Blink and you miss it, but I feel like when he first comes out, like when he just
You see it, you
for
get
like
a-
a second.
okay.
It's either the dick or like a dick with a sock
With
on
a
it.
sock on it. And he's talking about, or well, he's not talking. He's
Well, no,
narrating
yeah.
about how he feels he's on the verge of frenzy and that his mask of sanity is about to
Yeah,
slip.
his nightly bloodlust is slipping into his days.
So now it's a Christmas party.
Oh yeah, he's going there. It's like he shows up. It's Evelyn's Christmas party.
And she's got a pot-bellied pig.
It's very hot at the time.
Snowball.
It's like they're great pets.
As she hands it off to an elf passing by,
Right,
like, get this
Grumpy
pig away from me.
Gus or whatever.
And she asks him what he wants for Christmas. Don't say breast implants again. He really told her he wanted her to get breast
Probably.
implants for Christmas.
Probably. That wouldn't surprise me not
It's
at
a
all.
present for both of us.
And
I
he just
know.
like puts his finger in her face and walks away to talk
I
to someone
know.
else. Like, what the fuck, Evelyn? Have some
I
self-esteem.
know. She doesn't because she doesn't exist either. She's just it's a different kind of
She's another
psychopathy.
fiction. And so he goes over to talk to Paul Allen, who still thinks he's Marcus Halberstrand,
right.
and is asking about his wife
Cecilia.
and all this stuff.
And like, how is she? Let's get together for dinner. Oh, Cecilia would adore it. And then he's like, oh, we're going to whatever club. the limo's outside or whatever. So he's leaving. Great party, Evelyn. See you later, Halberstram. She's like,
Why did he call you Marcus? And
oh,
he's like,
and
oh, mistletoe. And why did he throw on reindeer ears to go
Somebody
talk to Paul
put them
Allen?
on him.
Oh, somebody put them on
Somebody
him. Okay.
snuck up behind him. I didn't see who did it, but somebody put them on it. He never noticed.
Oh, really? When they were shooting that, he
Nope.
didn't notice?
Oh, I don't know if he never noticed while they were shooting it, but while in the scene, Patrick Bateman
doesn't know they're there. Okay. So he meets Paul Allen at lunch the next day at Texarkana, which how did he even get Paul Allen to Texarkana?
I know. He's like, it's a real hive of activity here, Halberstram.
Yeah, he's already making fun of him right away. We should have gone to Dorsia.
I could have gotten us a table.
Patrick's like, nobody goes there anymore.
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
I've never been there, but nobody goes there anymore.
Of course not. Well, he's not supposed to be him. He's Marcus.
Right, he's Marcus Halberstrand.
Right.
So I guess that's why he brought him to a shitty restaurant because But like, if he's gonna kill him, what does he care what he thinks of him?
Because he doesn't ever want him to think that he's weird or wrong or whatever. Like even if he's just gonna kill him, he's gonna kill him under. Because then Then he has the appointment with Marcus Halberstram. Then he has been seen with Marcus Halberstram, whatever, and like not Patrick Bateman.
So he gets him nice and drunk.
Oh, like super drunk.
And tells him, I like to kill girls and I'm insane. And he's like, yeah, whatever. How's your wife?
Is that Ivana?
Right? Like, what's going on over here? Great ass.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And she dates that dork.
He asked about Evelyn, yes.
Yeah. She dates that dork Patrick Bateman.
Oh, and so he gets him more drunk and takes him home. Now, how did he get Paul Allen to come home with him?
I don't know.
I don't care how drunk he is. Paul Allen had no interest in or in Marcus Halberstram.
Right.
So, like.
And again, I don't think any of this actually happened.
You don't think any of this
I don't
whole
think
scene,
any of this
is
happened.
all just in his head.
This is all in his head. This is all a fantasy.
Well, this
that he's
scene
having.
has to be because this is insane. So from the time he gets him home,
They get him in there. He's got newspaper down all over the floor. And he's like, what do you got? A little dog, a little chow. And he's in there talking
you
about.
like Huey Lewis in the news? Is that why newspaper? Huey Lewis in the news?
Lewis in the news. There's the news.
Huh?
And he talks about all of the other albums. There were 2 new wave for me, but
When
4 and
Sports came out.
That was it. And Hip to Be Square. And he's putting on the poncho.
The raincoat or whatever, and he grabs the shiniest axe you've ever seen.
It's like brand spanking
It almost looks like
new.
it's made out of like Terminator 2 metal, like
I know.
T1000, like it's all liquid metal.
Axe.
And he moonwalks into the room.
That was what do you call those things? Ad-lib. He added that himself.
Hilarious.
It was like,
and this is where he was giving me Jim Carrey. Like
Right?
I could have seen Jim Carrey
is that
as
a
Patrick
raincoat?
Bateman.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
He could have.
Oh,
This
really?
could have been like the beginning of his dark mode.
Right?
Jim Carrey dark
I
mode.
was surprised he wasn't one of the possible.
I know.
Right?
he
I'm
could have
surprised
been.
he wasn't a possible
With
Patrick
all the
Bateman.
other things that Jim Carrey was up for, Jim Carrey wasn't up for this.
I can't believe it.
Wow.
And so he does a little dance. The little dance.
Is that a raincoat? Yes, it is. Hey, Paul! Ah!
Starts chopping him to bits. Just
How is that paper helping?
No, there's no way that paper did anything for the amount of blood that was supposed to be there. There's no way.
And it was over in like a second.
Yeah, and so then he takes his raincoat off, face all covered in blood, and lights a cigar. You're lighting a cigar in this apartment? He doesn't smoke a cigar at any other time.
He does in the book. He's a cigar smoker.
Oh, is he?
Like,
Okay.
often, and they don't show it as much in the movie. They only show it a couple of times, like when he's in the dry cleaner and now, and that's
Okay.
about it.
And Hip to Be Square's blasting as
Hip
he
to be square. Down, 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 down.
and he drags his body out, and this is how you know it can't be real because he drags his body out in his Jean-Paul Gaultier overnight bag,
it is a
leaving a
very
streak
clear-
of blood.
I know.
A streak of blood all through the lobby past the
And
doorman.
apparently, Comme des Garçons would not allow them to use their name for the baggage because that's what it is. But Jean-Paul Gaultier did not have a problem with it.
So I
that's
don't
why.
care. Go ahead.
That's fine.
You gonna
I
put me in
did
a movie?
City of Lost Children.
Right?
I made the Madonna titties. I'm good.
And Lewis is Lewis is walking past with some other woman and stops to talk to Patrick
Oh,
as
yeah.
he's trying to put the body in a taxi.
We're going to Nell's. Her father is buying it. And like he's like, oh, where did you get that overnight bag?
Jean-Paul Gaultier.
Oh.
But yeah, he throws this body in the back of a taxi and then goes to Paul Allen's apartment. But like, we don't see what he does with the body.
Well, he puts it in an acid bath in Hell's Kitchen.
That's what he says, but you don't see any of that happen because there probably was no body.
Well, yeah, probably not. So he goes to Paul Allen's apartment, which is better than his, more expensive.
I have to calm myself.
And it has a view of the park.
So he packs a bag for Paul and he records a new answering machine message. Saying that he's been called away to London and hasta la vista, baby.
Meredith, I'll call you when I get back. Hasta la vista, baby.
And before we find out if he gets away with it or if he did anything at all, we're going to take a quick break.
Do it.
We'll be right back.
Hasta la vista, baby.
And we're back.
We are back.
And we're listening to our Walkmans.
Yes, we're having a Zen moment.
Lady in red
is dancing with me. That's my favorite part of the song.
Of course.
It's nobody.
And he is once again not working at all at work.
No.
We never see him work.
No,
he just
never
listens to his
works.
Walkman and doodles and watches porn or whatever.
Right. He's watching Jeopardy. Uh-oh.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no. We got a mic problem. We got a mic issue. What's going on?
Uh-oh.
Hold on. Let me stop. Sorry for the technical difficulties.
I know. It's tight now.
And we're still figuring out this new setup.
I know. We're navigating a whole new, another level. Whole nother level. Is dancing with me. Cheek to cheek.
So Gene comes in.
Yeah.
There's a detective here to see you.
Right. He's like, tell him I'm at lunch. She's like, it's 10:30.
I think he knows you're here.
I think he knows you're here.
So he's like, fine, I guess send him in. And he pretends to be on a phone call giving fashion advice to somebody.
Yeah. Just, okay,
But
John.
don't tip the owner of the
Got
store.
it? Right. Hands up.
And so Kimball introduces himself and apologizes for barging in. He's like, I've been hired by Paul's girlfriend.
Right.
To investigate his disappearance. And he's like,
that's
Paul
weird.
disappeared?
I didn't know about that. He was
didn't
part of
really
that
know.
whole Yale thing.
You know, closet homosexual, lots of cocaine. Like, that's the whole Yale thing, apparently.
Right, apparently, because he went to Harvard and Yaleys and Harvards and all the...
They don't mix.
Whatever. They don't mix.
So he mentions the message that he didn't even leave a message about him going to London. He's like, yeah, but his girlfriend doesn't really buy it.
Right, and he's like, well, did anybody see him there? And he's
Well,
like, well,
actually,
yeah,
yeah.
somebody did, but we had a hard time kind of nailing it down. They thought they maybe saw somebody else. Maybe that wasn't him. I don't know. It's kind of weird.
Well, I got to go. I got a lunch meeting with Cliff Huxtable in 20 minutes.
What? Cliff Huxtable. Oh, no.
You're about to get roofied, Patrick.
Well, probably that's where he got it from. He
That's
learned
how
it
he
from
learned
watching
it.
Cliff
I
Huxtable.
learned it from watching you.
And I guess Willem Dafoe,
Yeah.
his whole thing was Mary Herron told him, play it 3 different ways. One in which you are suspicious of him. One in which you have no idea that it could be him. And the third is if you're not sure. And I feel like in all of his scenes, they like mix him up.
Right.
All of his reactions to like how the 3 different ways he played it. I feel like they mixed up all of the cuts of Willem Dafoe's scenes when he talks to Patrick Bateman.
Totally. So now we get where he's watching Texas Chainsaw Massacre while doing crunches and jumping rope.
Yes.
And then he goes and he picks up a sex worker.
Right. He goes down to wherever this is.
Where
in his
only
limo.
one sex worker works.
All by herself.
All by herself alone in this neighborhood.
Christie alone. That's not her name. That's just what he says. We never know what her real name is.
And she's not supposed to get in the car, but he offers her this big old wad of money. And she's like, well,
I can make it. Well, she's not allowed. She's not supposed to go to the apartment.
right.
He's like, do you want to go to my apartment? She's like, I'm not supposed to. But with all that money, I can make an exception.
So from the limo, he orders another girl from his Zach Morris phone.
Yes, he does. And he, from an escort company where
Yes.
like, I want a blonde, I can't stress this enough, blonde who does couples while Christie is sitting next to him.
Right.
In the back of the limo, driven by God knows who.
I know, you never see the driver, so Lord knows. And he introduces himself to her as, I'm Paul Allen.
Right. He's like, your name is Christie. You will only respond to Christie.
And
I'm
I'm
Paul
Paul
Allen. And I'm going to take you to my apartment. And I guess he takes her to
Paul Allen's? No, this is his own apartment.
Is his. Yeah.
Which,
and he
why
puts
did
her in
do
a
that?
bath. She gets some.
In that bathtub.
Oh my God.
Thank you.
I'll get
take
on
a
all
bath in
fours
there.
and wash
you
my
want me
vagina?
To? You're not going
Sure.
to touch me. You just want to watch me wash my pussy. All
I
right.
won't touch that Bijan. Don't worry.
No.
I'm just going to be here washing my pussy
with my
drinking my
Chardonnay
drink.
or whatever.
Very
my
fine
lovely bath.
Chardonnay.
Yes.
Have a nice little bath. There's all kinds of scrubs and
It's all
gels
the products
and a natural sponge. I'm going to rub all over my pussy.
Oh, hell yeah. And I'm surprised he let her use his sponge to wash her
bought
pussy.
it for that very occasion. That's
He was
Christie's
like, that's
sponge.
a one-time Christie sponge. That's going in the trash. I'm burning that when she's
Well,
done.
I'm going to hire her again. That's Christie's
That's
sponge.
true. That's Christie's sponge. So the phone rings. The other girl is there. So he tells her to dry off and meet them in the living room for drinks. And
Pick
the girl
a robe,
is
but
not
the
a
Bichon.
blonde.
Oh, you're not quite a blonde, are you?
A dirty blonde, maybe.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, whatever. But come on in, because now we're on a schedule.
And you're Sabrina.
Yeah.
And I'm Paul.
I'm Paul
Allen.
Allen. Don't you want to know what I do?
P-A-U-L-A-L-L-E-N. Just so you know. Here's
Social
my
security
ID.
number.
Yeah, right? So Christie comes out and sits down, and he's like, "Oh, don't you guys want to know what I do?" And they're like,
Not really.
No.
They know better.
Oh well, I'm going to tell you anyway.
I work on Wall Street.
So Christie compliments his place and asks how much he pays for it, and he's
That's
like,
none of your business, but I can assure you it's very expensive.
and he does not let Sabrina smoke in there.
Don't smoke in here.
But you guys like Phil Collins? I'm a big Genesis fan.
Love you, but I just can't do this. I wanna love you.
Oh, you
No
know, Invisible
jacket
Touch
required.
is their masterpiece.
I remember that tape being in my mom's car with his gigantic fucking head.
Yep.
That gigantic fucking head.
I had the
Like
one.
the hair starting to-
I know, just that little wisp of hair that you get away
definitely
with
had
at that
one
time.
Genesis tape, but I don't think I had a Phil Collins tape. But I had a Genesis
We
tape. but it wasn't
definitely
with his
had no
face on
jacket
it.
required in my home.
My
That's
dad
funny.
played that on repeat during
Oh wow.
Susu Studios. Studio. Well, we're getting there.
Oh god. So yeah, he beckons them to the bed, but never stops talking about the music. It's like, Christie, take off your clothes. Gets the
Right.
camcorder out. Sabrina, remove your dress.
Right,
Sabrina,
yeah.
dance a little.
Yeah, you dance a little. Get up there. Show her your ass.
Show
Don't
her your
just
ass.
stare at it. Eat it.
And now it's time for Studio. He gets naked. And he only looks at himself through this whole bang
He
session.
sat there with the director and watched pornography films to block the scene, and he made stick figure drawings, because you know he did,
Oh my god.
to decide what positions and how you move and how you do whatever in a threesome.
Wow.
How he wanted it to look.
And everything goes apparently well.
Yeah,
everyone's
everything's fine.
g-
They're
doing
asleep.
Fun times, and then they
Yeah.
fall asleep all together in the same bed. But then he
Well,
gets up.
She rolls over, like, because she's asleep. He's like,
Yeah.
don't touch the watch, because they couldn't say Rolex. It's Rolex in the book, but
Oh.
Rolex would not allow. There was a lot of people that would not allow
Their brand name
their
to be
brand
used.
names or their names to be used in this film.
So he gets up after that, and then she starts.
like,
The
"We're
girls
not
start
done."
to get up and leave, and he's like,
We're not done.
he's got to go to the torture chest
He's got a little
and get some
drawer
tools. And
a
I'm so glad
wire
they did
hanger.
not show what he did to these girls.
It's not described in detail in the book, but
Okay.
when they're done, he talks about how Christie has a really bad black eye. Sabrina's going to have a limp, and there's lacerations from the wire hanger, and like how it's whatever. I guess he just pays them extra. No one says nothing.
No, they just limp out of there, bleeding from the face, and I guess the doorman's just like, "Oh, Patrick had another one."
Patrick had another one.
And that's the type of thing that makes you question, like, is the message of this movie white rich people get away with anything?
yes.
Or is it this is a crazy person who imagined all of these things?
Yes.
Right. It could be
Both.
Right.
Both.
It could be either or both. And so now cut to him talking to the work boys about women.
Oh, yeah.
No girls with
women
good
have good personalities.
You gotta be ugly. Only ugly girls do.
Right.
You know what Ed Gein said about women?
I see a pretty girl and I want to like talk to her and ask her out. And the other half wonders what her head would look like on a stick.
And they're all just looking at him.
I
like,
believe that was
okay.
Edward Kemper.
Oh,
not
and he got
Ed
his
Gein.
eds wrong?
He got his eds mixed up. It wasn't Ed Gein. I can't imagine Ed Gein being that articulate,
Right.
to be honest with you.
And then Lewis shows up with a new business card.
Oh, I got a new business card too after we were having that conversation about the business cards. I went out and got a new business card.
And they pretend not to be impressed.
That's
but
nice, Lewis.
It's got
Patrick.
gold and green embossed printing on it. You guys.
That is a nice fucking card. And it looks actually more different.
It stands
of
out.
all the other
You would
ones, it
remember the
stands
guy
out.
with the gold and green.
Well, I'm going to
printing.
remember the guy with the bowl cut
That
with the
too?
parted down the middle. I'm going to remember him
and
too.
the bow tie.
Yes. I also am going to remember him too.
You sure are.
So yeah, he gets all, again,
Patrick gets all testy with his friends, like
the business card thing is like a huge
It's
fucking
huge.
thing for him.
and he puts on his leather gloves and goes in behind Lewis in the men's restroom.
Right.
He's about to strangle him,
When
but Lewis turns around.
it gives him a little kiss on his leather glove. Oh God, Patrick.
I've been waiting.
Why here?
I wanted this for so long. Patrick's so stunned that he washes
washes
his
the
gloved
glove.
cans and leaves.
Where are you going?
I got to return some videotapes.
This is one of the many times he says.
I think there's like at least 3
I have
times
to
he
return
says
some
that.
It's like every time he's in trouble. I got to
He's gotta
return some videotapes.
So back at the office, the detective's back talking to Gene about his appointments.
Right. He shows up and the detective's already there and they're already going through his little date book. And he's like, oh, hey. Whoa.
I'm here. What's up? What's going on?
up? Come in with me.
Well, I just need to know where you were on the night of Paul's disappearance. Probably returning videotapes.
Yeah, that's what he says. They're probably returning videos. He's like, that's not the information I have.
Or and these, maybe I had a date with Veronica. No,
and
that's
he's like,
not what I
that's not-
found.
And he's like, well,
What did you find?
that you weren't with Paul Allen or like they.
Or he won't say.
Right.
He's like,
He's being very, and I feel like, again, this is one of those instances where they played clips of the very.
of where he did maybe
where he
think
did
it was
suspect him. Because like there's very pointed questions sometimes that he asks
Right.
that you're like, he knows, but it's not really happening, or is it really happening?
Right.
I feel like this makes it more ambiguous.
So he wants him to pin down where he was that night, and they'll meet for lunch in a week.
Right. He's like, I don't know. I've been all over the place lately. I'm super biz. Like, can we meet for lunch?
And the detective pulls out his brand new
Ever
Huey
hear Huey
Lewis
Lewis
CD.
in the news? He's like,
No, I don't really like singers.
he's too black sounding for me.
And really, after your whole civil rights
Huey Lewis in the
conversation
news
and
is
Huey
too
Lewis,
black sounding for
I'm
you?
sorry. I think you are the only person to ever have accused Huey Lewis of sounding too black. I don't think that's a thing.
I don't think anyone's ever said
No.
that before in the history of man.
No. So now back to having sex with Courtney at her place.
Oh, yes. He's laying some pipe over at Courtney's. He doesn't even take his pants off.
No.
He doesn't even take his tie off.
He just pulls the dick out the hole, apparently. You didn't
yeah,
know
well,
they
he had
were
it down.
unbuttoned.
He
They
had
were
it down.
unbuttoned
Yeah,
at
yeah.
least. Because he had a belt that had to be open.
His shirt was unbuttoned, but the tie was still attached.
Yeah.
He got
And she was
dressed real quick.
pretty fairly dressed
She
as
had
well.
her
She had her
skirt
little
on and her,
silky
like,
negligee
whatever.
on.
Yeah, she just had to unbutton.
And she wants to talk. And you think like maybe something's going to happen. Like Courtney's about to off herself
Right,
or something.
or,
But
like,
that doesn't
whatever.
happen in the movie.
And she says something about like, "Will I see you before Easter?" And this is kind of reflective of a conversation that Jamie Gertz and Andrew McCarthy
in Less
have,
Than
and, like,
Zero,
but
yes.
Am I going to see you before Thanksgiving
Right,
or Christmas or
right.
whatever she says?
So yeah, they just have kind of an awkward goodbye. And then you
Right.
think that means something, but nothing
Just
comes
have
up
a
later.
nice Easter, okay?
So back at this club that they don't belong in
Pump
whatsoever.
up the volume they're playing. Funny because we just saw Miss Samantha Mathis, the Eat Me, Beat Me lady.
Yes, another reference. And Patrick and Timothy go into the all-gender restroom,
Which is like a buzz.
which is just a
There's
line of people
lines,
doing
everybody's
cocaine.
doing cocaine in the bathroom. Nobody pees. Everybody has to do cocaine.
Yes, but they got some weak shit.
Well, Timothy's very edgy because now this is Sweetener and he's not getting his buzz.
Well, and he's on steroids apparently.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He's like all amiss.
They go into the bathroom. They do a bunch of coke.
Right. They're like, we're just
Timothy
going to do
tries
all
to
of
jump
it.
over the stall to
I
like
know,
attack
he's like
somebody.
yelling. He's very aggressive.
And he goes out and they're talking to all these blonde ladies.
Right. They have this whole booth full of blondes and they talk about like, what do you do? And he's like, murders and executions mostly.
Oh, mergers and acquisitions, eh?
Right. She was like, do you like it? And he's like, what? She's like, well, everybody that I know that works in mergers and acquisitions, which also, by the way, is misspelled on all of the cards.
Oh, really?
The word acquisitions is misspelled on all of their business cards. Every single card
I did not
you see,
even pay attention.
I wouldn't have either, but I've seen it written that every single business card has acquisition spelled incorrectly.
Did they forget the C or
There's
what's
an
missing?
extra T.
Oh, an extra T.
I think that's missing. Acquisition.
Oh, okay.
Something like that.
So he changes the subject. Where do you work out?
Right.
And now she's like goes home with him. Like I don't know if she's one of the bodies in the closet.
Again, I was like, there's another thing about a model. There's like several things that are missing out of when he calls later to confess to the lawyer and he talks about the nail gun and all this other shit. He's talking about things that don't happen in the movie but happen in the novel.
Because you presume by the fact that the next day he's like
got her
brushing
hair.
this blonde lock against his face, daydreaming with sunglasses on, that like he killed that woman from the night before.
She could be Tori. She could be Tiffany.
Yeah.
She could be Rat Girl. I don't know.
And he's doing a crossword, but using only the words meat and bone.
And meat. Ugh.
So he's got a craving for that.
I know.
Flesh.
Well, Jean comes in and she's like, do you need help? Are you doing the crossword puzzle?
He's like, well, you got plans tonight?
Yeah, you want to go to dinner?
She's been waiting.
I know.
This whole time for this.
All she wants is for him to
she
like
could fix him.
She could fix him if anybody
she knows
could.
what's wrong with him.
Jean could. Well, I guess that she was super interested in doing this movie, Chloe, because her brother works on Wall Street or worked on Wall Street. So maybe her brother was one of these people.
So he's trying to get anywhere you want. I'll take you anywhere I want. I can get you anywhere. And she's trying to like, no, I don't. It doesn't matter.
Wherever you
just
want to go, I don't care. And he's like, no.
Dorcia sounds nice.
Go. The only fucking place he cannot get into. So he calls.
Oh no, Dorcia, that's fine. That's
great.
fine.
I'm into that. So he calls. Right
Doesn't
in front
even
of
say
her.
his name.
Well, oh yeah, 2 for Dorcia around 9:00.
And they're like,
we're
we're
totally booked. And like, but they don't laugh this time.
No, just we're totally booked. And he's like, really?
whatever.
That's great. And they're like, no,
you didn't hear. We're totally booked. And he's like, okay, we'll see you then.
And she notices. She's like,
she goes,
you didn't even give me your name.
They know me there.
By voice.
Right. They know it's our old pal Patrick.
But meet at my place at 7 for drinks.
Yeah, we're pre-gaming at my place.
And change first.
You're going to want to change before we go out.
Fucking dick.
I do like the little, whatever, very 80s.
Oh, her very
Kelly Bundy
flesh
dress
tone
that she's wearing.
Kelly Bundy dress.
Well, that and the bangs.
Her beige strapless
I
number.
know. She's very beige on beige on beige.
What was the name of that fucking kids show that my kids used to watch? And there was the guy, the boring guy who wore all brown all the time.
Beige.
Or beige. And he was like, it was like a business guy. That Disney one.
Oh.
The Imagineers or whatever.
Oh.
No. They were like a band. Fuck, I can't remember. Anyway, there was a guy who dressed all in brown and he was boring. No, it wasn't the Wiggles. It was some random Disney show.
The Wiggles were colorful.
The beige
That'd
Wiggles.
be weird.
And like he pulls some sorbet.
He's all, do you want some sorbet? She's like, yes, Patrick, I
And
love
there's
some. Like,
a
you're going to
woman's
eat it
head
out of
in
the
there.
fucking... Yeah.
But he served her out of the carton.
I know.
Patrick Bateman.
And then he admonishes her for putting the spoon down on the table, which, first of all...
He didn't have a silver dish to serve the sorbet out of,
I
first of
know.
all.
You're just going to eat it out of the fucking car all by yourself?
And I'm on a diet. Like I just have sorbet for you, for guests.
Yeah.
Just next to my beheaded.
This is my guest sorbet.
Just next to my body parts in the freezer.
Eat it because it was in there next to that girl's head, which I guess they achieved this just by having her stick her head up through her.
Oh, really?
She like almost cherried herself. No, I'm just kidding.
And so he's like, oh, well, what do you want to do with your life? And he's like looking through the knife drawer, too small.
Right. He's
knife
looking
block.
at all
Nope,
of his
not
stuff.
right.
Like, no, that's not it. And he looks in his utility closet.
That's in the kitchen and has power tools in it.
Whatever. He
All
grabs
right.
duct tape. She's like, what's that?
Just tape.
Duct tape. I need to
Tape something.
And
And she starts asking, like, are you seeing anyone? She makes all his
I
appointments.
know. She knows.
She knows about Evelyn.
Well, I think she's just because he asked her out like she's
So she
feeling
thinks
out
maybe
the
they broke up.
situation
Yeah.
or whatever. And then he grabs the nail gun.
The giant nail gun, which I don't even know how he hid behind his back because it was so big.
I know. And he goes up behind her and holds it right to the back of her head. And the phone rings. And it's Evelyn.
Leaving a
makes it
message.
very
Who says,
clear.
"Oh, I'll leave a message with Jean to remind her."
Yeah. And she makes it very clear that they are not broken up.
And my little boy next door, like the stuff she says to him. Have you ever even looked in his cold dead eyes?
No,
Evelyn?
that's what I'm saying. Evelyn
It's
also
because she's
does
short and he's tall, so
I
she's
know,
only
she's
ever seen
never
his
looked at
nipples. She's never seen above the neck.
She's never looked into his nipples of truth.
No. He didn't have the nipple suit on his Batman suit, did he? He didn't have the nipples.
No, he didn't have nipples.
No,
I don't
she
think
didn't get her
so.
eye poked out.
Did he have nipples?
I
on
don't
that
think so. I
Batsuit?
don't remember. The Dark Knight.
Was the shoemaker.
Yeah.
That would have been something else. They would have kept the nipples. They're like, you know what? We like the nipple suit.
So he tells Jean to go because something bad will happen.
Oh, like
And
I
what a
always do
weird
this.
thing she says. I don't want to get bruised.
I guess.
Who says that?
And I mean,
I don't
like
want to get bruised.
in a different context, him talking about like something bad will happen. I'm afraid I'll hurt you.
I'm sure she just thinks like in a relationship way, but that's
He's
what I mean.
talking
What a
about
weird thing to say. I don't
Putting
want
a
to get
nail
bruised.
through your fucking head.
Yeah.
I know. I don't know.
I have never thought that those words.
He's not going to want to see a
No.
bruise in the office. I'll tell you that much.
So the next day he has lunch with Detective Kimball.
Right. And he's already like,
He puts
Very-
so much salt on his steak.
it's like, oh God, what was that?
Salt Bay. He fucking salt
No,
bays
not
it.
that, but it was like a animation that I could see with all the salt.
On
Ah,
the oysters in Alice in Wonderland.
Maybe. I think
he's-
so.
Little oysters.
Little oysters.
The answer there came none.
For when he
Eating everyone. So he's like, well, I talked to Halberstrand
Yeah.
and he denies meeting with Paul Allen. He's
Right.
got an alibi. He's clean.
Yeah, he was like, is it like locked down? He was like, yeah, he was at the Poseidon Club with he
Names off a
rattles
bunch of dudes.
names and you.
You.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh yeah, I
That's
must have had
right.
dinner with Veronica the following night. I don't know. I just, you know how it is.
And this was one of the ones where apparently Kimball did not think he did it because
Right,
he's like,
because
oh, I
he's
just
like-
think he went nuts and split
Right.
town. He'll turn up.
I know. He's like, maybe he's drinking, maybe he's drugging. I don't fucking know. But I think it's fine. Like, really,
To
the
think-
idea of one of his friends murdering him. That's so
For no
silly.
reason. That'd be
Come on.
ridiculous. So Patrick goes back to find Christie.
Oh, he rolls up and she's like,
Well, I'm sorry, it may be a chilly evening wherever they are, but this is how she picking up work in
With
that
the jacket?
puffy coat
I
and
know.
a scarf
I know.
and them little bangs.
I don't know, man.
So she's like, I had to go to
She's
emergency
the only
last
one.
time. This is why she's out there.
She's the only
alone.
one. She can wear whatever the fuck she wants. She's the only one.
I know. There's no competition on
No.
this corner. And he's swearing it won't be anything like last time. Come
I
on, just get
promise.
in. The driver's here. You're safe.
She's like, I might have to have surgery.
What did she need for whatever you
Well,
with the wire hanger?
That was he hit her with it.
Oh, okay.
That was
So
that,
what
because
was
that's immediately
surgery
what you
for?
would think. That it's.
He was like, I just want to make sure I didn't leave no children in there.
There was something else about I feel like a hanger and an eyeball
Oh,
in the.
okay.
In another, that might have been part of it. I don't know if Christie doesn't survive, but I feel like maybe that's not it. I don't know. There's a lot of shit that happens in this. A kid gets killed at the zoo.
Right, which
He
doesn't
goes
happen
to the
in
zoo
this.
and murders a child just cause.
Because that's
That's
what
what he
you do when
does.
you're the American Psycho.
Right. There's a whole nother set of girls, like I said. There's that
Right.
whole other thing. So there's all kinds of shit that doesn't happen in this.
So
that
you
I
were-
hope happens in the fucking remake.
Right? I
Kind
hope
of.
they take it there.
You can keep the kid killing. I don't want to
no,
see
we
that,
don't
but
need
everything
that.
else
and
do
take
it.
out the homeless guy in the dog park.
Yeah, I don't like that either.
Take that
But
part
everything
out.
else, leave it.
So he writes her a check, which she tries to take and run, and he's like, well, but wait, I got all this money.
Right. He pulls out like this wad of cash.
Half now, half later.
Yeah. And
Get
she's
in.
like, all right, fine. As long as it's not like last time.
No.
Nothing like last time.
So he takes her to meet his friend Elizabeth.
Yes. He's like, we're going to meet my friend Elizabeth. You'll like her.
Right. And she's, I don't know, just an old friend from,
She's
I don't know, not school
screenwriter.
because they went to, oh yeah, that's right.
Well, they met at the Kentucky Derby because Christie asks her. Like,
yes, they
"Where
met at
did
the
you
Kentucky
guys
Derby
meet?"
years ago.
Well, because she calls, I got to call Harley.
She calls her drug dealer at 3 o'clock in the morning.
3 a.m. These are like peak hours. Like, why is he
when
not
like you
answering the
just
fucking phone?
picked up Christie and invited her over at 3 a.m.?
I don't know
Jesus
what
Christ.
rich people do, girl. I don't know what rich
I don't
people do
either.
in New York.
And
I
you
feel
didn't even have no Coke?
I know.
She like, you don't got no Coke? No Halcyon?
I know nothing. I would die for a Halcyon right now. But he's putting something in there.
Yes, he's got some
He's
sort of
putting
pill
little-
he's putting in there.
little
He's
date rape
doing
drug
his
in
Cliff
there.
Huxtable.
He's doing his very best Cliff Huxtable.
And he just wants to see the two of them get it on.
Oh, why would you think I'd be into that, Patrick?
Let's
I'm not
not
a
get
lesbian.
lewd.
Let's not get lewd.
And Christy's not drinking her wine. Come on, drink up, Christy.
Yeah, it's a very nice Chardonnay you're not drinking.
So she drinks some more wine and cut to the girls making out while
Right.
Patrick monologues about Whitney Houston.
Oh, about Whitney. And this is where you hear the not quite.
The almost Whitney Houston.
No matter what they take from me, they can't take away my dignity.
So, cut to him banging the girls in Paul's bed. Oh yeah, and she had said something before, so he's now at Paul
this
Allen's
apartment's
apartment.
nicer than yours. And he's like,
Not
"Fuck
that much
you."
nicer.
It's not that nice. But yeah, so now they're all fucking in this bed, and Christy,
She tries to sneak out.
she grabs her shit. She's like, you know what?
I'm gonna get out before the hanger comes out.
Right. I remember what happened last time. Half is enough.
But she turns around and sees blood soaking through the sheets, and Patrick pops up with a bloody mouth.
Because he's been biting on her. And now she's fucking, and this apartment is huge.
Yeah, she's all
She goes from
confused,
room
trying to
room
run out.
room and does he own this whole floor and no one's home?
I know.
Well,
She finds more dead bodies in the closet,
Yeah.
a room with like die
In the
yuppie scum
bath.
written on the walls.
right. All of this shit.
The bloody handprint room, like the bloody handprint wall
yes,
in
and the
Blair
whole
Witch.
fucking-
And then here he come with a chainsaw, naked.
And this is, I feel like this is like where split second you could see either his dick or his dick in a sock.
And now he stopped to put on some nice fresh tennies.
He had them on when he was fucking them.
Did he?
Yeah.
I did not notice
Yeah.
he had the
Yeah,
tennis shoes
He had
on.
the tennis shoes on while he was fucking them.
Wow,
Yeah.
he was ready.
Yeah.
So nude, out, covered in blood, he
Mm-hmm.
goes chasing her down the fucking hallway with the chainsaw. She gets to the staircase.
Yes, they're running down. Because like the elevator, she's banging on doors.
Nobody's
one can hear
coming.
her. She makes it down the stairs. She's doing this spiral staircase, and he drops the chainsaw
And just screams like a lunatic.
ah!
And he gets her at the bottom.
Right, catches her fucking.
Cut to him having a nice lunch with Evelyn.
He's drawing
and
the
drawing
fucking
the
scene
murder scene on the tablecloth.
tablecloth with crayons.
Yes.
Who
Why
gave him
who
crayons?
gave him crayons at this restaurant?
Are they at crayons?
There was a
There was a
restaurant
restaurant
named
named
Crayons.
Crayons.
Maybe that's probably it.
I bet you.
And he's trying to break up with Evelyn, and she's like, "Yeah, that's not going to work for me.
Yeah.
All our friends are the same friends."
No. Your friends are
So I
my
don't
friends.
see how that's
my
gonna
friends.
work
He's
out.
like, you can have them.
Yeah,
It's
you
fine.
take them.
Whatever. It's okay. And she's like, you're serious?
So now she's like devastated.
she's crying, and he's like, stop. I will give you anything to shut the fuck up.
You're
Stop crying.
inhuman.
Stop making a scene.
No, I'm in touch with humanity.
right. And I can't deal with it.
And I got to return some videotapes.
Right. I gotta return some. Bye.
I'm going to start saying that.
I know. I gotta return some videotapes.
If I want to get out of a weird conversation, we're going to start ending the show. Later, Doomers, we got to return some videotapes. So he cut to him walking the street menacingly,
He goes to the ATM.
and there's a little kitten.
The ATM wants him to feed him a kitten.
Feed me a stray cat. Okay. So he pulls out a gun to
And
the
he's gonna
kitten's
blow the
head, and
fucking
like you've
cat's
never
head off.
seen him with a gun. So
No,
it's
he
just this is the
Well, this is
climax
kind
of his insanity.
where the fantasy really takes over at this point.
Mm-hmm.
This old lady walks up. She sees he's about to blow this kitten's head off. She's like, "Hey, stop that!" And he shoots the old lady.
And a cop rolls up.
The sirens start. He's running.
He's trying to steal a car. He's running down an alley.
Like all the alarms are going off. The cops catch him.
And he like shoots some cops, blows their cars
And
up with
even
his gun.
he looks at the gun like,
What the fuck?
how he like Mary Brady's that shit.
Yes, he did. He blew him up with like one bullet.
Right. And he's like, what the fuck is even happening? So then he runs to what he thinks is his building.
And he gets mistaken for Smith.
Mr. Smith, and it's not his building, so he shoots
Shoots the guard.
the guard,
comes
and
back for the cleaning
janitor.
guy. Yeah.
I don't know why. I guess because he came down out of the elevator at the wrong
I
time,
guess. And runs to another similar building.
which is his building. He's like, okay,
And this time he's so sweaty, and he signs in instead of killing the fucking security guy. He pulls a pen out
instead of a gun, and he signs in and goes up, and he's just like, fuck. And the helicopter is outside the window. The lights are shining, so he calls his lawyer.
I killed a lot of people. Escort girls, homeless
5 to 10 homeless people. I killed Paul Allen. He's dissolving in an acid bath in Hell's Kitchen.
I killed maybe 20, maybe 40 people.
I ate some of them.
And I taped a lot of it.
And I taped a lot of it. They
ate some of their brains. He gags even thinking about eating their brains.
Yeah.
I tried to cook a little.
I tried to cook a little.
And also I killed a lot of people tonight, and I'm not sure if I'm going to get away with it this time.
So, and I need you to help me. So keep an eye out at Harry's. I'll be there tomorrow.
I guess I'm a pretty sick guy.
Yeah.
So the next day he showers and does his routine.
Yes.
And for the first time ever is not wearing white underwear. Does that symbolize something? He was wearing like dark colored underwear for the first time.
Did he have boxer shorts on?
They were boxers, but they were like dark red or.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't pick that up.
And he goes over to Paul Allen's with his breathing mask, ready for all the stench of dead bodies.
He went there first. Oh yeah,
he goes there first.
So he goes over there and he's like ready
to clean up the bodies. I guess.
Right. But it's clean.
And
it's
painted.
all fresh painted. Corky has been there in this mob-owned building.
Right. And there's a woman there showing the apartment. And he opens the closet. There's nothing in it. Just paint cans, ladder buckets. And the realtor's like,
are you my 2 o'clock?
And he's like, I'm looking for Paul Allen's place.
It's like, did you see the ad in the Times?
And he's like, I know. Yes.
I
goes,
did.
You know what?
Like,
you should go. And so this is
she's
another
like,
moment where you're like,
there was no ad in the Times. You should go and don't come back here.
And so you wonder, did she just clean a bunch of dead bodies out of this
and they don't want
so she
anybody
could
to
sell
know?
it? And so
because that was a really expensive apartment.
Right.
I bet you it wouldn't fucking matter.
Probably not.
If somebody if we found a bunch of bodies in here, but now it's clean.
Oh well. He runs out to the phone booth, dry swallows a bunch of medication.
There was a couple times,
but
where
didn't say
pills.
what the medication was on the bottle. It just showed his name. Yeah. So he calls Jean. He's not going to make it in today.
I'm not coming in today. And she's like, are you okay?
Stop sounding so fucking sad. So he hangs up. He's flipping out. And she goes and finds his appointment book.
And you can see the progression.
Right. It's normal at first. It's just appointments. Right.
And then it's a weird
little
drawing
doodles
here and there. And then it gets worse and worse.
Where
and
it's all just scary murder doodles.
She's crying like, oh no.
So Patrick goes to meet with the boys.
Right.
And his lawyer's there.
Harry's. Yeah. And he sees him across the bar. He's like, hold on. Because they're like, hey, we got to have a reservation. They're talking about the same old bullshit.
Yeah.
He sees his lawyer, so he goes up there and he's like, oh my God, that was you.
And he doesn't know he's Patrick Bateman. Yes.
He thinks he's Davis.
Yeah. And he's like, oh my God, that was amusing. But Bateman's such a dork. He would never.
He killed Paul Allen. Are you fucking? That was your fatal flaw.
Maybe Bryce or McDermott.
But not Patrick Bateman.
And he's like, no, I'm Patrick Bateman.
I am telling you that I killed all of these people. And he's like, you know what? Don't talk to me no more.
Yeah. He's like, you don't recognize me? You're my lawyer. And he's like, you know what?
I don't want to.
It's not funny.
It's not funny.
And he's like, you know what? It's not possible. I had dinner twice with Paul Allen in London last week.
Yeah, 10 days ago. He's like, what?
So cut back to Gene looking at the more graphic drawings, and then back to him and his pals, and they're watching Reagan on TV.
Yeah. And he was like, look at him. He's playing that old codger, but inside. Mm-hmm. Inside doesn't matter. Mm. And then they have this whole conversation, and then he starts talking about...
He's just laughing. He's a happy camper, rocking and a rolling.
Rocking and a rolling. He was like, what do you...
Yeah, he's like, what do you think about Reagan? He's like, oh, I don't have an opinion. And he just drinks his drink, and you hear him talking about his punishment evades him and his confession has meant nothing.
Right. He was like, I want no one to escape this pain. And he's like, and there's no catharsis, no deeper knowledge of who I am. This confession's meant nothing.
And so, did he really kill anyone?
I don't think he did.
Does he continue to fantasize or actually kill anyone, or is this all just...
He probably goes through ups and downs. I'm sure he hurts people, but I don't think he's actually ever killed anybody.
No.
Because Sean Bateman's like this too in Rules of Attraction. He's kind of a little sociopath as well.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. And who plays that one? That was
Dawson's Creek.
Forehead. James Vanderbeek.
Yeah. He plays Patrick.
I feel like I have to have seen that, but I don't think I knew at the time it was
Shannon
the same.
Sossman girl in it. Whatever happened to her?
Whatever happened to Shannon Sossaman? She was
in it.
adorable.
She was so cute.
Oh, did she? She retired from acting?
Didn't she have a baby with somebody? Who'd she have a baby with?
Someone famous.
I feel like she had a baby with somebody famous. It's got a weird name, as people do.
So how did American Psycho doom us?
Well, I'll tell you this much.
It didn't make me attracted to men like Patrick Bateman. I'll tell you that.
No, not really. But I'll tell you this much because I read this so much further before this movie came out. And as young as I was when I read it, that shit fucked me up.
Yeah.
That shit fucked. This is horrible. This is horrible.
The book.
There's so many descriptions. Horrible. But I love the descriptions. I love them. It's all about fashion and places and where you wanted to be in that time and place. All of them are like that.
Interesting.
And they also said that this was a movie or an adaptation of a novel written by a misogynist, directed by a feminist.
Oh, okay.
Because Bret Easton Ellis is not a nice guy.
No. No. So that's all we have to say about
That's
American
all we have to say
Psycho.
about that. This is our second offering for Nightmare November. We're coming back next week for an anniversary.
A big anniversary. And a big nightmare.
A big nightmare. The nightmare.
So in the meantime, like, subscribe, rate, review, send us a text or a voicemail, 702-720-DOOM. We haven't heard from you guys in a little bit.
I know. It's been quiet, but we've been busy, I guess.
If you send us a DM or like you talk to us online and you don't say specifically like, read this on the show.
Yeah.
We get all kinds of comments and DMs and whatever, and I don't just read them because you didn't specify this is a thing for public consumption. So yeah, let me know if this is listener mail or whatever.
Right.
And until next week.
We'll talk to you next time.
Later,
Doomers.
Gotta return some videos.